Spoilers! Yeah, you knew I was going to make a spoiler talk for Batman v Superman because it is just one of those movies you gotta make a spoiler video for. It just makes sense. So big fat spoiler warning for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. This will break the experience for you if you haven't seen it yet. So you have been warned. And holy shit, I have never seen so many different reactions to a movie before. I know some people who love this movie, I know other people who think this movie was shit, I know some people who think this movie was just okay, and I've heard everything in between. So really no one's opinion on this movie is justified. I still love this movie, and I'm not here to change your opinion. If you hate the movie, that's fine with me. I can see where you're coming from with your opinion, and I'm actually almost kind of torn, because the first time I saw the movie, it was with a big crowd, and they were all DC fans, and the hype didn't get to me and make me love the movie, but I guess it did kind of have a small factor. I saw the movie a second time, and I did see all these little flaws in the movie that kind of started to add up and not make me hate the movie or anything like that, but I did notice the flaws. I'm not going to change my rating or anything about the movie, that's bullshit. I do still love Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, but I do notice the flaws. Because what great movie doesn't have flaws? That's just how movies work. Okay, rant over. Now let's talk about the spoilers in this movie. First thing I want to talk about is Ben Affleck as Batman. A lot of people are saying that he is the best Batman to ever hit the big screen, and with that, they're throwing Christian Bale out the window. I can't really say that Ben Affleck is the best Batman to hit the screen because I really love Christian Bale's Batman. In fact, after having almost a week to think about it, I have to say Christian Bale is still my favorite. In my review, I said that there are things that Batman did in this movie that I'm not sure he would do in most lore. By that, of course, I meant he killed people in this movie. The Dark Knight, Batman killed people in this movie. And yeah, I have a problem with that. Zack Snyder's reasoning is, well, Batman's killed people in other movies before, you know? Which, you know what? Yeah. He has, but that's not the point. The point is that one of the things that Batman is known for the most is his golden rule not to kill people. The situations in the previous movies where he has killed people was only in a situation where he had no other choice. Like take Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight, for example. The choice was either let Harvey Dent kill Jim Gordon's kid or kill Harvey Dent. Those were the only two options, so he had to kill him. But in Batman v Superman, the scene where he's in the Batmobile and it's that car chase and he's like towing that one car behind him and it's flipping over and crushing guys, I was like, there is no way those guys survive that. They are dead. In this movie, Batman is shooting people left and right, and I was like, why? What? Why would Zack Snyder make that choice? And the dream sequences. There are actually a couple of dream sequences in this movie, and really I felt they were not needed at all. Like, they didn't have to be in the movie. You know, when Batman is on that precipice and he sees that huge Darkseid symbol and like the whole apocalypse thing, I feel like if that scene was not in the movie at all, I think it might have flowed a little better. I did like the end of that though, where the Flash comes out of nowhere, he's like, oh, you have to find us. I liked seeing that. In fact, I loved all the Justice League setup in this movie. One of people's biggest complaints about this film was actually one of the things I love the most about this film. That was the Justice League setup. Because setup in movies for future movies never bothers me because I like hyping up for shit. So I love the scene where Diana Prince sits down and sees the email and sees all the other metahumans in the world. She sees Aquaman, she sees the Flash, she sees Cyborg. Yeah, that shit was awesome. Out of those three, I would have to say the Flash was my favorite snippet. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Ezra Miller as the Flash. I think he's going to be a really good Scarlet Speedster. And while we're in that area, I'm now going to talk about how badass Wonder Woman is in this movie. She is still one of my favorite things about Batman v Superman. Not just that old photo she gets where she sees herself like 100 years ago and Chris Pine's in the photo as well, but her action at the end of the movie was badass. She's fighting Doomsday with her sword and slicing shit and blocking shit with her wrists. I'm like, this chick is almost stealing this entire final action sequence. And the finishing touch on that was when she had Doomsday with her lasso of truth. She's like, ah, she's holding it on with her lasso. I'm like, done. I can't say it enough. I am so looking forward to Wonder Woman's solo movie. It's gonna be like one of my favorite movies of 2017. I'm calling it now. And then there's Lex Luthor. In my review of the movie, I said that Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor grew on me as time went on. I think that actually was the hype getting to me there. He was not a horrible Lex Luthor, but he wasn't really the best Lex Luthor either. He was no Michael Rosenbaum is what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure he will be better in the future movies to come, but for now his twitchy behavior was more Riddlerish than anything else to me. And the Doomsday fight. Okay. The hate I've heard for the Doomsday fight at the end of the movie was A, I don't think Doomsday looked all that good, B, the CG was way too fake looking, and C, Superman's death was unnecessary. Okay, first of all, the CG visual effects in the Doomsday fight, they were fine to me. It's not supposed to be realistic in any way, it's a comic book movie for crying out loud. But it didn't look as fake as The Hobbit did. As for the look of Doomsday, okay fine, he doesn't look like his comic book counterpart at all. Okay, maybe a little. But it's not as bad as like Doctor Doom in the new Fantastic Four movie that sucked ass. There have been worse comic book representations in movies, and Doomsday was not completely off the mark. And as for the death of Superman, I thought that was fine, because they're taking that from the comic books. Doomsday is known as the one who killed Superman. And actually, it's pretty funny. When he was dead and they had his funeral, you know he's not gonna die. You know Superman's gonna come back. I just thought he would come back like at the very end of the movie or something. And when they were having his funeral and the movie kept going on and he still didn't come back, I was like, alright, movie, you're scaring me. And Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince are there. They're talking about getting the Justice League together. So they're gonna be the ones who are gonna round up all the metahumans. You know, they're gonna go look for Aquaman and the Flash and all that. And they will honor Superman in his death. I was like, okay, great. And that wasn't a bad part of the movie or anything. But come on, Superman, come back, come on. And it's not until like the last fraction of a second in the film, you know, the shot is down in the coffin and the dirt is on it. And for a fraction of a second, the dirt starts to rise up and then cut to black. I was like, oh man, come on, you had to do that? Like Magneto at the end of X-Men 3 with the chess piece. So now, okay, fine. Superman is gonna be slowly regenerating over the next couple of years and he's gonna come back in the Justice League movie. Which is fine, and I've heard some people say, well then what's the point of killing off Superman in the first place? It's just a nice twist, that's all. Because it was Doomsday and that fight had to mean something, plus you need a reason to round up the other members of the Justice League. Because Darkseid is coming. And that's gonna be awesome. And now that I'm done with the movie, I'm actually gonna talk about the score because I forgot to talk about the score completely in my review. And I actually was not as fond of this score as I was fond of the score of Man of Steel. I wasn't a fan of Batman's theme in this bum 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 bum. It was too over the top for me. You know whose theme I did love though? Wonder Woman's. Tina Guo on the electric cello, man, it's bass. It just adds more to the list of reasons I love Wonder Woman in this movie. And I love Lex's theme in this movie. I'll say all the characters had good themes in this movie except for Batman. So guys, in the end, I still love this movie. I do see where people are coming from when they say they hate it. This is probably the most divisive movie I've ever heard of. Like I said, I'm not here to change your opinion. If you hate it, that's fine. I'm just here to tell you my thoughts. That's why I'm here. So here's my question for you. Which upcoming DC film are you looking forward to the most? Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League? Whichever one it is, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.